we feel that the governors actually have no role to play at this point on matters of the tea regulations, because the tea regulations are a product of a journey that started in 2014. They went through stakeholder consultations, and on June 29th of this year, they were gazetted into law. So those are the functional ones. From there, as the statutory act instrument dictates, they went to Parliament. And Parliament essentially is really just, because it's a delegated function, is just to look at whether the process carried out on stakeholder engagement was right. And from there, either reject or approve those regulations. So there's no place where the governors are coming in. Then the governors are misinforming the public that agriculture is devolved. We all know that as per the 4th schedule of the Constitution, the agriculture policy under Section 29 and even veterinary policy under Section 30 of the 4th schedule that they have mentioned in rejecting the regulations rests with the national government. So the policy making was not moved to the counties, and I think that is what the governors need to know, and that's what they need to tell the public the truth, that the policy formulation for agriculture and veterinary rests solely with the national government. There's also the other issue, the fallacy that the governors have mentioned, which is saying that the one man, one vote, which is under the regulations, is not anchored under company law. Every factory in this country, all the 69 factories in this country, have what we call Share A. Share A, which is a founder share. Every farmer has only 5 shares, meaning that every farmer has one voice. And that's why we are using that to say every farmer gets one vote. The issues of direct sales. The regulations are very clear that there should be no direct sales. Let's just use last month alone. With the KTDA shipping about 1,000 containers to Pakistan, we lost as farmers 165 million shillings. And that is because they did direct sales at prices much lower than the auction prices. And that is why the direct sales is being banned under these regulations. Direct sales, even countries like Sri Lanka, Rwanda, they don't do direct sales. So there is no reason then that we should be told that Kenya is the one that will succeed in the same. Then we have the propaganda that has been propagated by KTDA, and we've seen it also with the governors, that the regulations are about returning the KTDA to government. That's a fallacy. There is no part within the regulations that talks about amending, taking back KTDA to government. As we all know, KTDA is a company owned by farmers. So it's actually a public company. The process of taking it back to government is such a long process, and a process that we do not support ourselves as people who are within the tea sector. So those are some of the things that the governors have said, and we want the minister to proceed with the regulations. We want Parliament to ensure that they pass these regulations. The regulations have the full support of farmers.
It's hypocritical to hear Kiraitu saying that the tea regulations that have been brought about by Honorable Munya is about politics. And I would like to remind him that way back 2014 is when these regulations were put before the farmers and before KTDA. And all the stakeholders were involved and invited, and they deliberated on the same. We know very well that Kiraitu at that time was in the Senate and was the chairman of the Agriculture Committee. But unfortunately, instead of Kiraitu addressing the issues that were before him, he went to bed with the KTDA, where we know for a fact that he got money and he left the farmers to suffer. So today when he says that Munya is playing politics, we would like to tell Kiraitu to leave Munya alone, because Munya has refused to take money from KTDA. So the politics of Meru should not be brought to play into the national politics, more so when we are talking about the suffering tea farmers in this country. So we want to tell Kiraitu that the issues that he is trying to bring up and also share with other governors, so that today they come up with a statement saying that they don't support the regulations. We tell him that farmers are watching and we are not going to take it seated. We are going also to take action. Let him be reminded that where he comes from, Meru, we have so many tea farmers who are suffering. Let the regulations work, because we know at the end of the day, that is where the farmers will be able to get their sweat paid for. Because we have suffered for a long time. We know the other ministers for agriculture who have been there have failed to do what Munya is doing. Yes. And we would, at this point in time, want to thank His Excellency the President for having seen the strength, the courage, and the wisdom in one Munya. Because were it not for Munya, we will not be where we are.
Thanks.
Kiingereza, wa Kiswahili na wa Kikuyu. Hiyo ni tu ni mara ni tu tuandikire. Mara ni ithano ni mekuona ni ici. Ni bado mabide. Three, yeah?
No, it's very simple, eh? Ukiongea
alafu mtu ureka na mukoda gweka Gikuyu mbere na Githweri na Githungu, try to kama unaanza kuiza alingana na hizo uri ha